What's a lesbian look like? Angry. You got the angry African-American lesbian who just can't handle somebody coming into their league as a white girl with a bunch of attention.
Dijonai Carrington or Kennedy Carter or anyone else, play the game hard and stop going on social media and blaming Catlin Clark and all of Catlin Clark's fans for the ills of society in the world.
Catlin Clark, one of the WNBA's most prominent stars, found herself at the heart of a game-defining controversy. Known for her elite basketball skills and competitive drive, Clark became entangled in a heated moment that many believe had long-lasting repercussions. The intense exchange not only shifted the momentum of the game, but also sparked wider conversations, drawing attention to the pressure and challenges faced by standout players like Clark on and off the court. This pivotal event underscored her central role in shaping the future of the league.
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Catlin Clark.
Angel Reese took her clothes off for Instagram and posed and all this stuff. What happened? She claimed to be sexualized. What is that? Drama. Total drama.
It's like everything bad that happens to me is somehow connected to Catlin Clark. That's stupid, it's dishonest, she's just clout chasing, she's using Catlin Clark, and then she goes, I don't think Catlin Clark has hatred towards me. What has Catlin Clark done to you?
This sparked a polarized response, with some viewing Angel Reese as a bold and unapologetic figure, unafraid to stir controversy. Others, however, criticize her for seeking sympathy after leaning into public disputes. In contrast, Catlin Clark has been widely praised for her humility, strong work ethic, and unwavering focus on team success. While Reese courts headlines for her outspoken nature, Clark continues to capture admiration for letting her performance on the court speak louder than words.
You know, for whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Catlin Clark, not to mention just overall Catlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season. Catlin Clark has taken so much crap from so many types of players this season, pretty much from every team she's faced. Players realize that if they attack Catlin Clark, their names are too going to be in the headlines.
I was trying to make a play on the ball and I guess I followed through and I hit her, so obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
You know what Catlin Clark said when she got fouled this hard?
Obviously got me pretty good in the eye. It didn't bother me. Obviously it didn't feel too good when it happened, but it is what it is.
They caught Catlin Clark in the eye. Ultimately, she ended up getting a black eye out of it.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
During a tense match, an incident occurred that left Catlin Clark visibly shaken, and her performance took a noticeable hit as a result. Many observers noted that the injury wasn't just a physical setback for Clark, but a crucial turning point that significantly impacted her team's playoff hopes. The moment shifted the game's momentum and raised concerns about the long-term effects on her performance and her team's championship aspirations.
If you want to be considered the GOAT, you got to have GOAT-like performances. And Catlin Clark had a GOAT-like performance.
Caitlin Carey Clark. I got to get it right. That's what she is.
As Catlin Clark finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing up in quite some time. Absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching.
As the divide between Angel Reese and Catlin Clark widens, it has brought to light deeper cultural and societal issues. While both players are undeniably talented, the stark contrast in how they are perceived has fueled broader conversations around race, gender dynamics, and the role of media in shaping public opinion. This ongoing debate reflects how different narratives are formed based on identity, further intensifying the spotlight on both athletes.
When she went on her podcast, in her first episode in her podcast, like the title, Catlin Clark was also like in the thumbnail of her video.
Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me like naked.
What does that have to do with Catlin Clark?
Reese has embraced the role of the villain, positioning herself as someone unafraid to stir controversy. However, her claims of being sexualized and harassed have sparked backlash among many fans, who are quick to point out what they perceive as contradictions in her behavior. This response has further polarized public opinion, with some supporting her outspokenness, while others criticize her for seemingly undermining her own narrative.
She puts herself out there, even on this podcast. Stomach out, breast barely hidden, legs front and center everywhere. She has sexualized herself. And now, oh, I'm shocked, people are sexualizing me. And somehow she's connecting it to being a Caitlin Clark fan. I just don't see the connection.
The criticism has been especially harsh because of her previous actions on the court, like mocking Caitlin Clark during the NC 8-day championship game, which fans interpreted as taunting.
It could be dangerous to an opponent to have any kind of jewelry on, and the women of the WNBA are allowed to wear claws, not crushing her own fans. She's asked about, hey, do you denounce this or that? And she's just like, I'm not paying attention. I'm paid to play basketball, and that's what I'm worried about. A very reasonable response.
Caitlin Clark is just such a class act. She was incredible, breaking all types of records, and that's something she was certainly proud of. We saw lots of smiles on the court.
Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. Like, she's selling out gyms, of course. Like, why would you hate against that?
And the first response is not to, oh, hey, are you okay? When she's down on the ground, holding her eye, knowing you just jab someone in the eye.
Offer.
It's to look at the official and plead to the official. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. Almost as if she knew what she was doing when she did it. No foul was called.
Some might argue that incidents like this are simply part of the game, a reflection of the intense competitive spirit that defines sports. However, others feel that this particular event crossed the line, sparking serious questions about the competitive nature of the sport and the differing treatment of certain players. This ongoing debate has ignited discussions around sportsmanship, respect, and the boundaries of acceptable behavior on the court.
Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain.
The ongoing debate between the two players mirrors broader societal tensions, with race and public perception significantly influencing how each athlete is regarded. The WNBA now stands at a crossroads, as fans increasingly demand integrity, honesty, and fairness. This scrutiny not only shapes the current narrative, but also plays a crucial role in determining the future direction of the league. As these conversations continue, the league must navigate the complexities of its identity while addressing the expectations of its diverse fan base.
We saw dirty play after dirty play on Caitlin Clark, and still, she just handled every single situation with the highest levels of dignity.
Do you know what would happen if she fought back in a real way? Fighting some angry black lesbians, not her job, and it would lead to a collapse of the league.
What would you say to the crowd of people that think a hit like that was intentional and maybe even warrants a suspension?
It wasn't intentional by any means. You just watched the play. It wasn't intentional.
Someone who's been kidnapped by the league and is afraid to say it, because if she said what we all saw, that it was intentional, there would be a hit put out on her.
Throughout her career, Clark has faced numerous challenges on the court, including aggressive tactics from rivals, yet she has continued to remain focused on her game, despite the pressure and controversies that surround her.
That she says, like, hey haters, like, it wasn't this, I'm this, it's just, it fuels those negative people to continue saying negative things about you.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. When it's behind your name, that's when a lot of people are like, oh, they think, oh, I don't like her because her fans are saying this. No, I don't believe in her heart that she has hatred towards me. And I'm sure she believes that I don't have hatred towards her, but I think her fan base has gone, I'm talking about, like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Clark's rise to stardom, driven by her team-first mentality, has sparked significant excitement, leading to a surge in viewership and attendance for women's basketball. Her influence goes beyond the court, highlighted by major endorsements, including a recent $3 million deal with Nike, which underscores her status as a prominent figure in the sport. While Reese's narrative has increasingly focused on personal controversies, Clark remains a captivating presence, embodying a spirit of sportsmanship that resonates deeply with fans and elevates the women's game as a whole.
There are still people who seemingly feel like they just don't want Catlin to be a part of it. Because with Catlin comes millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs. And with those millions and millions and millions of more eyeballs, unfortunately, is going to come some people who are not nice.
You're the number one pick. People are going to go after you because they see greatness in you. What the WNBA is measuring one type of greatness against the other greatness.
I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time.
And now you want sympathy. Where was sympathy for all of those who you exposed your villainness?
But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And so you knew they were going to come for you.
The situation involving Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has ignited a passionate debate surrounding race, gender, and fairness in sports, particularly in the WNBA. Angel Reese, a prominent player, has opened up about experiencing harassment, death threats, and being sexualized, yet her remarks have drawn significant scrutiny from fans. This controversy has highlighted the complexities of public perception and the challenges athletes face, further fueling discussions about equality and respect in the realm of sports.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. Her fan base has gone, I'm talking about
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
No one has sympathy for the villain. You painted the bullseye on your back. Why are you surprised when people shoot at you?
Many view her as a self-proclaimed villain and are critical of her responses to the backlash she receives, particularly when compared to Caitlin Clark, a celebrated player whose achievements have garnered widespread admiration. Fans contend that while Clark allows her performance on the court to speak for itself, Reese's actions appear more centered on maintaining her image, leading to accusations of hypocrisy and clout chasing. Commentary from Smith resonated with many, yet it also faced criticism for being overly harsh, as basketball is an inherently fast-paced game where accidents can and do occur.
The fact of the matter is, the kind of stuff that's happening and has been happening over the last few months is because of Caitlin Clark.
She has scored or assisted on 66 points, 71% of the Fever's points. That's the most ever in league history. She's breaking records every week. Now, you made a big mistake the first time, not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb.
The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese adds an electric atmosphere to the game, captivating fans and drawing significant attention. Their fierce competition showcases not just their individual talents, but also the broader narratives surrounding their contrasting styles and personas. As both athletes elevate their gameplay, they ignite a passion in the stands, making every matchup an event to remember. This rivalry isn't just about basketball. It embodies the excitement and intensity that drive the sport forward, leaving fans eagerly anticipating their next encounter.
No, I've said this, that I think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the rivalry is great. I don't need Caitlin Clark to win everything. It's a magic bird thing, back and forth. If Angel Reese wins Rookie of the Year, good for her. I like the back and forth.
Catlin the rookie sets records every week.
But I just want to tell you that Caitlin Clark last night had 19 assists in a game to set a league record. She's a rookie on a bad team. She has scored or assisted on 66 points, 71% of the Fever's points. That's the most ever in league history. She's breaking records every week.
Despite her rapid improvement, she was overlooked for the Olympic team.
So part of the silliness of not allowing her on the Olympic team is she was a very quickly improving player, and now you kind of look silly. She's arguably the best playmaker in the league, arguably the second best three-point shooter in the league. I don't know, they seem valuable in Olympic competition, and she's not on the team.
Clark didn't even get a chance to compete in the three-point contest.
But yesterday they also announced the skills competition for the WNBA All-Star team, and she didn't make that either.
Concerns about distractions prevented her from engaging in the women's basketball discussion.
She didn't make the three-point shooting contest? So you argued she wasn't good for the Olympics. Your argument, though I don't buy it, but it was your argument, women's basketball, that she would be a distraction. I roll, but okay. So isn't the perfect place to put her in the skills competition, where she's one of the best three-point shooters, and she's a highly skilled player?
She was selected for the WNBA All-Star team, but is unlikely to participate.
So now what is it? Pettiness, gatekeeping, insular, dumb? If you're not going to put her in the Olympics, you're 0 for 1. Now you're not putting her in the skills competition. She quadrupled the ratings. Nobody's going to watch that skills competition. They would have, highlighting Clark and other players. Thank God the WNBA didn't go 0 for 3. They did find it in their heart to put her on the WNBA All-Star team. But she'll probably be at the end of the bench and struggle to get minutes, I would imagine. But, I mean, it's almost hard rooting for women's basketball. You're like... it cracks me up how they treat her. If you really think about it, they're trying to get her to pay her dues, but she's the one paying all the fees. She's the reason you're flying private. She's paying for everything, and you want her to pay her dues. It's really ridiculous. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bird and Magic came into the league and they put them on everything. They tried to highlight them because the NBA was more secure in itself. They understood Bird and Magic could elevate all the players, the league, the revenue, the pie, the pettiness. You got to get her in the skills competition. What are you doing? You should have her on the Olympic team. What are you doing?
I honestly think just pick and roll. Like, we were getting whatever we wanted to the rim, and like AB was sealing really well. Like offensively, we were able to get whatever we wanted all night. It felt like it was just our defense. Like we gave up 28 points off turnovers. I think 20 of those were in the first half, and like so that really got to start the game. And just got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. Like give up 100+ points, you're not going to win very many games. Like that's just the reality of it. But we did a pretty good job of hanging with them and probably gave people an entertaining game. It was fun there in the last 4 minutes. It was pretty back and forth, I guess.
Diana Taurasi's injury could open the door for Catlin Clark to secure a spot on the Olympic team.
I think Catlin Clark has that pull, and it's interesting. So yesterday she had another great fourth quarter. They came back to win. So here's what's interesting. Diana Taurasi is injured, and it may open the door for Catlin Clark to make the Olympic team. And women's basketball just didn't quite know how to handle Catlin Clark. It reminds me a little bit when Taylor Swift, the singer, became a billionaire with the Eras tour, and like the management team and Ticketmaster had to apologize. Like in 10 minutes, they couldn't supply enough tickets. It was just, they were completely overwhelmed. And I think that's what women's basketball was with Catlin Clark. I mean, they knew a year out she could be the #1 pick. They give her the toughest schedule, early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst team. So she comes in, they start 1-8. They put nothing but quality veteran teams that had been in the playoffs. Terrible start. And then the league has to scramble because she's selling jerseys and merch like crazy. They've got to switch venues in LA. They went from the Pyramid in Long Beach to Crypto. And the league got, this is what happens sometimes with soccer fans. They feel ignored, and WA fans feel ignored. So they get very precious, very tribal, very insular. She's not going to make the USA women's basketball Olympic team. And you're like, are you crazy? Go look at the men's team. It's political. Jaylen Brown's not on it because Nike doesn't want him on it. Kyrie Irving's not on it because Nike didn't want him on it. You're not going to put Catlin Clark, your Taylor Swift, on the team? Well, she sells out her All-Star jersey in 17 minutes.
Leading the WNBA in assists and ranking 3rd in three-pointers, Catlin Clark continues to shine as one of the league's standout players, showcasing her exceptional playmaking and shooting skills.
I'm still not sure women's basketball quite has their feet under them. They're doing a Ticketmaster. They're bailing water. She's exploding as a player. She leads the WNBA in assists. She's third in three-pointers made. Indiana's won 8 of 12. Yesterday's a prime example where she is in the fourth quarter, best player on the floor, had a choppy first half, but had 10 points. But you're not going to hear anybody pick on women's basketball as a unit. There's a lot of sycophants in the media. They feel like the sport's been ignored, so they're part of the brigade to support it, and that's fine. But let's be honest about it. The sport made a terrible decision on the Olympic team. The scheduling early, even though they knew she was coming out and probably going to be a number one pick a year earlier, about the time they were making schedules, was ridiculous. And now Indiana's on fire. Caitlin Clark's like a 17, 8, and 6 player. She's getting better by the week. She says the right stuff at the podium. There's nothing about her you don't like. And it's like, now you made a big mistake the first time, not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb.
Caitlin Clark will boost your television ratings and elevate the sport, drawing in fans with her exciting style of play and undeniable talent.
Get her on the team. Give us a reason to watch the Olympic women's team. You guys win gold every year. Your competition's weak. You win it every year. Give us a reason. Quadruple your television ratings with her, promoting not only the other women on the team that could get endorsements, but promoting your sport. There's a reason that top movie stars and top athletes use the same 4 or 5 agents, because they can handle it. They don't get overwhelmed. Women's basketball is felt overwhelmed here. You got your Conor McGregor. Your baseball, you got your Bryce Harper. You know, you got your Messi in the MLS. You put him on TV. You know, the whole salary cap in the MLS. It's funny. They got Messi into the MLS. The guy makes more than some of the teams. They figured out a way to get him into the MLS. They weren't precious and rigid. And so, listen, in basketball terms, this is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk. If you can get her on the Olympic team, you missed the first time, do it the second time. You're doing yourself a favor. Don't get in the way of yourself. Don't jump over a $20 bill to get to a 5, as they say. You screwed up the first time. Don't screw up again. Get her on the Olympic team. Diana Taurasi, by the way, has been a huge, ardent supporter of Caitlin Clark. She wouldn't mind it.
There's a lot of people there in the arena, like, just for a draft watch party. Like, that's pretty incredible. So awesome. I can't wait to get there and actually be playing games. I know it'll be a packed crowd.
You can always tell when it's a home game day for the Fever, because downtown Indy gets flooded with the number 22.
Caitlin Clark just dropped the news. She's officially part of the WNBA now.
Huge headline tonight in women's basketball. Record-breaking Iowa Hawkeye star Caitlin Clark has announced she's entering the WNBA draft this year. And it's big news here in Indianapolis because the Indiana Fever hold the number 1 pick in that draft.
And Clark is skipping her final season of eligibility to go pro. Just last week, Iowa played at IU in Bloomington, and this was the line to see her at Assembly Hall.
Caitlin's presence on the court draws crowds wherever she goes, captivating fans with her dynamic performances and star power.
Honestly, I think it's super special, and, you know, sitting at the table, kind of obviously knowing where I'm going, you still get a little bit anxious when the commissioner walks out and says your name. It's something you dream of. Like, it's a moment I've dreamed of since I was in 2nd grade, and be there with my family at the table was amazing, and to share it with them was super special.
Indiana Fever just scored big with the 2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year already in their lineup, setting the stage for a bright future.
And now the dreams of Indiana Fever fans coming true today. This announcement's a huge deal for the Indiana Fever, who already have 2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year Aaliyah Boston on their roster now.
And the Fever hold the number 1 pick in this year's draft. It's widely expected that they will go with Clark. And as Fox 59's Eric Graves shows us, basketball fans are already excited about the idea of adding her to the roster.
Caitlin. Indianapolis ready to welcome the best player in college hoops to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We were at the NFL Combine Experience today talking to fans about football, and they had plenty to say about the future of Fever basketball, too.
Even though she's not yet a WNBA player, Catlin has done so much for women's basketball.
Breaking records for history, selling out crowds, and balling out. That's what Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark does.
She's a star already, and she's not even a professional on that level yet.
She's rewritten record books over her 4 years at Iowa, now owning the NCAA women's scoring record and creating new fans of women's basketball along the way.
I haven't really followed a lot of women's basketball up until this year.
I've never seen a player like that. Really, she's incredible.
When Caitlin Clark hits the court, you can bet the seats will be packed.
Home or away, Clark has been selling out venues across the country this year, including Assembly Hall just a few weeks ago.
Just has this energy that everyone's just kind of attracted to and drawn to.
An intensity that fans of all ages love.
Do you like watching Caitlin Clark?
Yes.
The Indiana Fever have had the top pick in this year's WNBA draft for a while now, but it was Clark with the question mark. Would she stay in school for another year or turn pro? Thursday night, she made the announcement.
Caitlin Clark announced she's going to declare for the WNBA draft.
Did she? I didn't hear that. Oh, that's fantastic.
Clark's decision puts her on a collision course with the Fever at number 1, giving fans plenty to talk about.
It'll sort of add some energy to female sports.
I think it's going to change the landscape for the Fever.
Nothing is set in stone, but Fever legend Tamika Catchings posted on X welcoming Clark to the Fever, and Clark liked the post. Fans already comparing her to Indiana hoops greats.
That would be phenomenal, following behind Tamika Catchings and some of the other ones that have already been here.
She'll be the Reggie Miller of the Fever, is what we hope.
Over to the WNBA, where the Indiana Fever introduced the first overall pick from Monday's draft, Caitlin Clark. Her resume is as long as the three-pointers she drained while helping lift women's hoops to unprecedented popularity. Take a listen to the top overall pick. It's new on SportsCenter.
I can't think of a better place for myself to start my career, a place that loves basketball, supports women's basketball, and an organization that really does things the right way. I'm just very thankful that they have a belief in me. I was just ready for a new challenge and something new in my life. Felt like I kind of had done everything at Iowa that I possibly could, and we did a lot of amazing things, but to be able to come here and stay in the Midwest, you can't script it any better. I hated playing at Indiana, and they hated me, so hopefully a lot of them turn into Indiana Fever fans, but I mean, they hated me for good reason. It's a hard place to win at, and there's going to be learning curves for me. I'm not going to come out here and score 40 points a game. Like, that's not what I'm going to do. I think it's just, learning from the amazing people that I have around me and having a lot of fun, but also, don't lose who I am. That's what's got me to this point. Continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
This game was really a springboard to see the all-star list of constellations in the WNBA. Take us inside your thought.
Caitlin Clark brings unmatched excitement to everyone watching the game.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about all these eyes that Caitlin Clark brings, right? I know there are so many Caitlin Clark fans for good reason. She broke a WNBA record in tonight's game with 19 assists to go along with 20-plus points. What Caitlin is doing is amazing, but there are so many other talented pieces around her, and that's the best part. When you watch Caitlin shine, what else do you get to see? Aaliyah Boston have 28 points, and then even on the opposite side, you start to fall in love with opponents as well, and those players like Arike Agumbawale and Odyssey Sims, who had 24 points each, or Natasha Howard, who's a forward who had 8 assists. All the players for the Dallas Wings, even JC Sheldon, who's a rookie alongside Caitlin Clark, knocked down some big-time threes. So all these eyes on Caitlin puts all the eyes on the rest of the league that is filled with so much talent, and that's the best part. For any Indiana Fever game, you're seeing Catlin, of course, in the talented Indiana team, but you're seeing everybody.
No question. Let's take a look and keep our eyes on what may happen moving forward. Next Indiana win, they're going to match last season's win total. Dallas is sitting there at the bottom of the WNBA standings right now with Washington, but you say fortifications are coming. Take us inside the second half for both of these teams.
I see Indiana firmly in, and even possibly winning a playoff series or two. I don't think they have enough to win a WNBA championship, but they're already, in my opinion, light years ahead of where I thought they would be, and they're not even close to their ceiling. Like, this team and this season, as they put seasons like this together, this can be a team that hangs another banner, and I know Indiana fans would absolutely love that. I see them in the playoffs, solid.
You can always tell when it's a home game day for the Fever because downtown Indy gets flooded with the number 22.
Just go down the street and you're seeing 22 shirts everywhere.
The number that belongs to the one and only Caitlin Clark.
I'm really happy I got to see her today. Yeah. It was like a dream come true.
Her star power was on full display against the New York Liberty when Clark made history, not only for herself as a rookie, but for her team when she hit a triple-double, electrifying the crowd.
Here are some comments from people about Caitlin Clark. Take a look, it's
historic. It was pretty awesome. We're big Iowa fans, so we've been watching her for years, and it was great to see her live.
It was pretty surreal because we were watching TV, I think, the game before, and she got really close to it. I think she was like a couple of rebounds away, and I didn't think that I would actually be at the first one, but here we are.
It felt really exciting that my favorite basketball player made her first triple-double.
We've been following her since like last season with Iowa, but seeing her do what she did on the court today, that was actually really amazing.
Not to mention, the Caitlin Clark effect is changing the game overall.
What she has done for the sport of basketball and what she has done for women's sport, period, it's amazing.
The WNBA, the professional league, is it's growing amazing. Like, I just can't believe they're selling out, and I love it. It's awesome.
Go Fever, let's go! Triple-double, first rookie! Fans have been traveling across the country for Fever games, and for some, it's their first introduction to a feeling Hoosiers have known forever.
There's some kind of camaraderie, you know? I think everybody feels it. Like I said, it feels electric, like something big is gonna happen.
How long was your drive?
7 hours.
7 hours. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
I've been enjoying watching Fever basketball since Tamika catches, so just to have this up war again, you know, in the city is very lovely.
Caitlin Clark, one of the brightest stars in women's basketball, shocked fans and the entire sports world when she unexpectedly announced her decision to quit the WNBA during a live broadcast. Known for her record-breaking performances and unmatched competitive spirit, no one saw this coming. As the news broke, the audience was left in disbelief, trying to understand what could have driven such a monumental decision from an athlete just getting started in her professional career. The reasons behind her departure have sparked endless speculation and raised countless questions. Caitlin Clark isn't just one of the most talented basketball players of her generation. Her impact stretches far beyond the court. Her legacy is being shaped by a combination of incredible skills, unwavering determination, and a genuine connection with her fans. As her career continues to rise, so does the attention surrounding her. Admiration from many, but unfortunately, negativity from some. While a large number of people embrace her as a groundbreaking talent, others, fueled by underlying racist sentiments, have targeted her with hate. Despite this, Clark has remained focused, rising above the negativity and treating her fans with warmth and appreciation. In this script, we'll explore her legacy, the support and criticism she faces, her connection with fans, and the truth behind the rumors surrounding her. Caitlin Clark's journey to basketball superstardom began in West Des Moines, Iowa, where her exceptional talent was evident from an early age. Dominating high school basketball, she quickly gained attention across the country. It wasn't long before she joined the University of Iowa's women's basketball team, where she became a household name. Her performances on the court were nothing short of extraordinary, record-breaking games, jaw-dropping three-pointers, and a level of poise and leadership beyond her years. It was clear to anyone watching that Clark was a generational talent destined for greatness. By the time Catlin entered the WNBA, she was already a superstar. Her collegiate career set the stage for a highly anticipated professional journey, and she didn't disappoint. Lighting up the scoreboard and leading her team, she quickly became one of the most talked-about athletes in the league. Her fierce competitiveness and never-back-down attitude earned her legions of fans, while her humility off the court made her a beloved figure. However, as much as she's adored, Catlin has also faced criticism, some of it stemming from racial tensions. In a sport where black athletes often dominate the headlines, Clark's rise as a white athlete who excels at the game attracted both supporters and critics. While her skills are undeniable, some backlash unfairly targeted her based on race, sparking uncomfortable conversations about racial dynamics in sports. Despite this, Clark has never let the negativity define her. She remains focused on her game, choosing to rise above the hate, proving herself through hard work and dedication. What sets her apart is not just her resilience, but her connection with her fans. Clark has built a strong, supportive fan base that admires her both for her skills and how she carries herself off the court. Whether it's signing autographs, taking selfies, or spending time with young fans, Clark's commitment to giving back is evident. She understands her platform and uses it to inspire the next generation of athletes, particularly young girls with dreams of following in her footsteps. Her journey may have taken an unexpected turn, but Caitlin Clark's legacy continues to grow on. One notable aspect of Caitlin Clark's relationship with her fans is her openness and approachability. Despite her superstar status, she remains grounded, always willing to engage with the people who look up to her. Whether it's at games, charity events, or even on social media, Caitlin consistently makes an effort to connect with her fans. This genuine connection has endeared her to many, making her one of the most relatable athletes in women's sports. Her fans often speak about how down-to-earth she is, and it's clear that Clark takes her role as a role model very seriously. For Caitlin, the support she receives from her fans means the world. She has spoken frequently about how much it means to have such a strong following, especially among young girls who see her as a source of inspiration. Growing up, Caitlin had her own idols, and now she embraces being that figure for others. It's a responsibility she doesn't take lightly, and she strives to set a positive example in everything she does. Her kindness, humility, and dedication to her craft make her a shining example of what it means to be a role model today. But with fame comes rumors, and Caitlin Clark has had her fair share. As her star continues to rise, so do the whispers about her personal life and career decisions. Recently, there have been rumors about Clark's potential departure from the WNBA or dissatisfaction with her team. These rumors have caused a stir, with many speculating about her future. However, none of these rumors hold substantial truth. The idea that Catlin would quit the WNBA, especially after achieving so much so quickly, is baseless speculation. Clark has been open about her love for the game and her commitment to excelling in the WNBA. She has clearly outlined her goals and aspirations, and leaving the sport prematurely doesn't align with the trajectory she has set for herself. For Caitlin, these rumors are just noise. She remains focused on what truly matters, her game and her fans. Caitlin Clark, known for her incredible talent on the court, recently made headlines for something much more personal and heart-wrenching. In a moment that touched the hearts of many, Caitlin embraced a young girl just before her passing. The reason behind the hug speaks volumes about Clark's character and the strong bond she formed with this fan. The young girl idolized Caitlin, finding inspiration in her resilience and strength, and Clark's heartfelt gesture during her final moments was a touching tribute to the bond they shared. This emotional moment has deeply moved many people. Caitlin Clark isn't just known for her extraordinary basketball skills, but also for her compassionate heart and dedication to her community. Her rise to fame in the sports world has made her an inspiration to young athletes and fans across the country. However, it's her work off the court that truly highlights the kind of person she is. In particular, Caitlin has made meaningful connections with children facing serious health challenges, bringing hope and joy to families in some of their darkest moments. Her philanthropic efforts have had a lasting impact, especially during her visits to hospitals like the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital and the Stead Family Children's Hospital, where she has touched countless lives. These hospital visits are more than just a way for Caitlin to give back. They're personal and heartfelt. She takes the time to genuinely engage with the children and their families, offering a moment of light and hope in difficult times. One of the most memorable visits Caitlin made was to the Peyton Manning Children's Hospital, where she spent time with newborns in the NICU, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, giving much-needed support to their families. Moments like these reveal a different side of the competitive athlete fans see on the court, a compassionate and selfless individual who uses her platform to make a positive difference in the lives of others. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we truly appreciate you sticking with us. Your support helps us bring you more great content.